controversy between guys saying that you sort of need a push-pull gun with aluminium. I don't feel that this is the case. This machine drives aluminium through this handpiece quite well. I'm really impressed with it. I was asking Dave and the boys if they could put a push-pull gun on it, and they said you wouldn't need one. Like I say, I was a bit skeptical at the start, but Jesus, it works perfectly, guys. So we'll have a look over here at the actual drive roller setup that it has on it.
So yeah, it's got what they call a 4 drive roll system. So that means you've got geared drive rollers top and bottom. So you've got not just a pressure roller bearing at the top, but it's actually got a groove in it. So it grabs the wire a lot better. And then of course you use your Teflon liner, which you run right back to the rollers here. I always run a graphite Benzil liner, a little bit oversized. So that's actually a 1.6 aluminium liner. We're running 1.2 mil aluminium. I just find that works the best. Of course you have aluminium tips, where a 1.2 mil tip is basically 1.3 mil. It's just a little bit oversized. And then we've got the up-down feature on the torch here. So basically Hayden can control all his heat and job numbers and everything from the torch. So say if he's, this is mobile enough, he can get it anywhere inside a boat. And then you've got 4 meter torch, no feed issues at all. And then say you're on a roof or something, you can change jobs to, a flat weld or a verti up or whatever you might be doing. So there's no real need for a push-pull. Push-pull is just a little bit more dramas and, a lot more expensive. This is a pretty tidy package.
You got a pretty tidy package, mate.
Yeah, show us your tidy package, Woody.
That's good. That's perfect.
Yeah, loving it.
Well done.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I was just saying to Chris, like I can pre-program. So say I'm doing 3 mil, right? And I've got a T-piece. I want to weld that. I save a setting, and then when I want to do like a corner-to-corner fillet, I'll save another setting, and it's all in a job number, and then I can go to this here, job, and I can switch through the job from there. So say I know job 1 is for my T-piece, like this, right? And then I want to do a vertical down setting, and I want to run down. It's a different setting to that.
So if I hit this, so what am I, right.
So you can change it. I've only got 2 jobs in there at the moment, but you can change, and on the fly, I'll just look over, change, yep, good, ready to go, weld. Makes it a lot simpler, definitely.
So to set the job up, how did you do that? So when you come to this machine, right?
So I'll go back into my settings here. If I want to save something, so say I've got, like let's just say for instance, this one here, we've just done, on the program, we want single pulse on 413, that was what we had it set on. And I was running 180 amps, or 180, there's my settings there. If I want to save that now, so I know 6 mil downhand fillet.
Well, we're going to do this, so we're going to set this right at this. You're going to put that in as job 3, are you?
And so basically when I want to save something now, so that's our setting there that we've just welded this 6 mil plate with. If I want to save it, I hold down the memory button. I select the job number that I want it to save into. So at the moment, we're up to job number 3, that's where we're up to. So then I just hold the button in again, and that's saved. So job 3 is now 182 amps with a -3 arc force.
So I'm just going to go through quickly the setup for aluminium. It's really important you get a good feed, and aluminium is a nightmare to feed if you don't do it right. So just a quick rundown on the setup. I highly recommend genuine Benzil torches for running alley. We don't seem to have any issues with them. But more importantly, the liner. So a lot of people will run a Teflon liner. I prefer the graphite ones. They're just a little bit stiffer, and just find they run a bit smoother. when running aluminium, so 1.2 mil alley, I'll always run a 1.6 aluminium liner. It just gives it a little bit more space to breathe. So 1 mil alley, I'll run a 1.2 mil liner. I've just found that works for me. So you find these liners, they just come as a liner themselves. But the thing you have to add to that is a brass neck liner. So if I was to run that up to the tip, straight away that would melt, restrict the wiring, and have all sorts of nightmares. So you need this brass bit to cop the heat, and that screws on the end, and that takes all the heat. So that's that. And then last of all is your tip. So I've grabbed a 1 mil aluminium tip, so that says 1.0 AL, specially designed for aluminium, and that's just a normal 1 mil tip, so it just says 1.0. The difference is you can't really see it, but you see the aluminium one is about a 1.1. It's slightly oversized. That just allows aluminium's not perfect cylindrical, especially when you're squashing it through the rollers and whatnot. You need that little bit of leeway so it doesn't get caught up in your tip. Rollers. So this machine, it actually tells you what pressure you should run on your rollers for aluminium. So you run a very light pressure. You don't need much pressure at all. Otherwise, if you run too much pressure, it'll just bird's nest inside when you hit a snag. So 0.5 to 1.5, we run about 1 on this one. One other thing I do, some people do it, some people don't do this. Always run a tail out of the torch. So usually there's a brass guide tube inside your Euro. I take that out and I run the liner all the way, so there's nothing to get jagged up in the process. So your wire's going straight off the rollers, straight in there. When you feed it through, take all your consumables off so there's nothing to get snagged on, and then at the end put all your consumables on, start welding.